Have you ever felt that you're working extremely hard, doing everything right, yet you still feel stuck in life? Personally, I've been feeling that way for quite a while, and it's been really, really frustrating for me. And for context, I work as an occupational therapist in healthcare, and I simply feel that no matter how hard I work, no matter what I did, I wasn't really getting closer to my goals. Now, my goals aren't really that different than everybody else, right? I want financial security. I want the freedom to spend time with loved ones. I want to work on my own terms, and I want to be able to work when I want, right? Like those are just some very general goals. It might sound like pretty unrealistic to some, but those are things that I want, and I think everybody wants it as well. Like it's not too much to ask for, right? I want more from life. But the problem that I ran into is that my current trajectory in life, right? My current job, at least, it only pays me a certain amount. Like as a therapist right now who works in the healthcare field, I can maybe get paid $50 to $60 an hour, for example. Okay, I'm not really like, don't quote me on this or anything. So $60 an hour is if I am the best therapist in the world. I could, I work my butt off. Like that's as much as my field is willing to pay me because, that's just what the system has agreed upon. The problem is that the life that I want, that freedom where I get to work from home, only work 10 hours and all that, requires me to make way more than $60 an hour. So the disconnect here is how do I get from point A to point B? You see, over the last couple of weeks, I've been really thinking about the direction of this channel, and it's really, really clear that what I'm passionate about is helping people figure out how to get from that point A to point B, with me being that very, very first, guinea pig, right? I want to test this on myself. I want to see what I can accomplish and then share it on this channel to you as well. Because way too many people, in my opinion, at least right now, way too many smart and hardworking people are trapped, right? They're trapped in the jobs where they feel that, no matter what they did, they're just barely getting by, barely surviving. And even though they wanted to do more, they're not sure what they can actually do or what they have to do in order to do so. I've been doing a lot of experimentation myself. I've been doing a lot of interviews with other healthcare professionals to just figure out like, okay, what is it that's troubling you? What do you have difficulties with? And it's very, very obvious that most people don't even define success for themselves, right? Because I think a lot of us has rushed into adult life by just like, okay, you finish high school, you go to college, you get your degree. After your degree, just start working and just keep working until you retire and keep on buying more things, buy a house, start a family, do all these things, which all require more and more money, right? So this keeps you in this trap, keeps you in this mindset that I just have to keep working until I retire and then I hope things work out. But I want something different. Like, how do I exponentially increase the amount of money that I can make, of course, in a very, in a way that isn't too scammy or doesn't feel like I'm having to give up my self-worth or anything like that. How do you make it with integrity, right? How do you make it while helping other individuals as well? So what I started to do with these people that I've been talking about is I started to ask them like, okay, how do you define your success? What kind of life do you actually want to live? And many of them would kind of mention to me like, I want similar things that I want. I want to spend time with my family. These are some of the things that I enjoy doing, but I don't really know how to get there. But that is the first step, right? To actually believe that there is a possibility to get there and to not simply think that you just have to blindly work again and again and again, week after week after week, and still depend on like an employer or a boss to actually make things better for you, because that's never going to make things better, in my opinion, at least. So what I started to at least figure out is that if you are somebody who wants more out of life, if you are somebody who feels that you're starting to feel stuck, then it's important that you take inventory of where you are in life, right? You don't want to restart your life in the sense that like, oh, my job kind of sucks, so I'm going to switch over to another whole field and do something else. I think the mindset you really want to have is that up to this point, you have done a lot of amazing things. You have gained a lot of cool skills, very, very important knowledge and all that. Now, can you combine everything you have with something else to increase your trajectory in life, right? To make it easier for you to reach that goal. Can you combine it with learning something with technology, to utilize artificial intelligence, to pick up a new skill, to try something new? Like that is the mindset that you want to have, instead of just like, all right, I'm just going to put in my 40 hours and that's all I have to do. Because if you just do that, then things are going to stay stagnant, right? What's really frustrating to me, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling on a little bit, is that for so long, our parents, teachers, society has told us that as long as you went to school and you did what you were told, things will be fine. You make a lot of money and everything will be good. But with how the economy is, with inflation, with how competitive everything is, like it doesn't really seem that reality is possible if we just keep on with this. It doesn't help that in social media we're constantly being shoved in our faces of how everyone is doing better. So I've been feeling it a lot more, and I think that would be the direction of this channel, where we'll explore a lot more of using artificial intelligence, of figuring out practical things that professionals with jobs, very demanding jobs too, can actually start to dip their toes into, start to do little exercises where they can get a little closer to that. And at least the first step towards that path is to simply ask yourself and define what is success like to you. Sit down with a pen and paper or on your computer and simply ask yourself, in 10 years, in 15 years, what kind of life do I really want to live? How much am I working? What am I doing for work? How much time do I get to spend with the family, right? And I want you to compare that kind of life with your current life right now. And when you start to see the gap, you start to realize that if you simply stay on this path, which again, there's nothing wrong. Some people like to do it. Some people don't mind just working all the way to retirement and just doing it again and again. But I want something more. So if you are somebody like me with that kind of dream, as unrealistic or as impossible as it can seem, then this is the channel for you. So please subscribe to the channel if you're interested for more content like this. But I wanted to end this video really. It's been a while since I made a video, so I'm a little clumsy with it. I'll get better, I promise. But it is definitely possible to achieve that kind of life. But it does take time, it takes effort, and it takes you knowing what to work on. And I've been experimenting a lot over the past couple of years with YouTube and artificial intelligence and just a lot of my projects here that I've compiled what I believe is necessary for someone to actually get there. Somebody that doesn't have a lot of time, somebody that is, tired all the time. I work in healthcare. I like to believe that I work extremely hard all the time. But just because you work extremely hard doesn't really guarantee anything. You need to know the tools you need to use. You need to know what exactly you need to do with your spare time. And you need to see the light at the end of the tunnel, the vision of what you can achieve. So take some time and define success for yourself. That would be my advice. If you're someone who feels stuck in your career, who's not sure what your next directions are, just simply do that. And we'll go on this adventure together. So that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've been sticking by with this channel, I really, really appreciate it. And you'll be seeing me a lot more, hopefully in the future. So that's about it. Peace.